thank you again for joining us. I think we can take it away from the first slide again now.
So we're starting. Okay, so yeah, agenda of this webinar is going to be about the latest insights on AI visibility. And again, like I'll repeat this once again because I think it's huge. You will be able to see how did the volume of ChatGPT referred traffic to the website change over the last 8 months, and how did the intent of these people increase over time. This is a massive insight that I can't wait to share. Then we're going to summarize like from the part 1 and 2 of our like webinar series on AI visibility. How do you rank higher with AI engines? What are the key hacks to increase your Black Friday, Cyber Monday visibility and visibility in general? And then Carlo, our lead AI developer, is going to show Henri AI. So how do you prompt ChatGPT or any LLM? What are like good prompts, bad prompts, and how like what to avoid, like context clutter, or like how to get the best out of the output that ChatGPT, Perplexity, Henri AI give to you as a user. So I can't wait for all of you to see this. It's going to be extremely insightful. I was really enjoying when I was seeing the Carl's part and while I was preparing up my part. So yeah, really just continue listening. It's really a big thing, I think, in the field. So yeah, Tony, since we have the recording, let's start with the motivation. And this is data from July. How we started analyzing this at all. This is the first-party server-side data that we've gathered by our LLM technology. So this is ChatGPT referred traffic to Shopify stores. And you can see from January to July, there was 15x increase in visibility and ChatGPT referred traffic to stores. And now this is October data. So since July, which had a huge increase, there was another 2x and then another 2x in ChatGPT referred traffic to Shopify stores. So the blue line here is insane. I was really so excited to see this. There was 30x increase from start of the year till September in ChatGPT referred traffic to the store. Also very, very important, Gemini had a massive increase here. So it went from like 0 to 2%, which is also a massive increase. So ChatGPT is still leading the charge, but Gemini is picking up on the what ChatGPT had before as an advantage. So this is just a fundamental reason why we start to build and analyze and prepare these webinars for you to understand how to rank higher with AI engines. What blew me away even more is what is the intent and how did the intent of these people who are coming via ChatGPT refer change over time. So I think for anyone doing like Facebook ads, Google ads, email marketing, I think this is a really useful slide. This is conversion rate from users, again, using the WebPixel first-party server-side tracking technology, conversion rate of people who are coming to the website after being referred by ChatGPT traffic. And you can see here, so this is data from January on the left till September on the right. There was a big increase. It used to be around 2%. So if you were referred by ChatGPT, in 2% of cases, you would convert on the website. Now this number is over 3.5 and like 4% during the summer. So this was just something that blew me away. How like high intent traffic this is that is getting on the website. And again, this is based on our own pixel technology data of our customers who are getting substantial ChatGPT traffic because they did follow the advice from these webinars. More importantly, this is the revenue per session of these users. So this is not like they're spending $2 per session. This is like $50 per session per user that got on the website. So this really blew me away how high intent and value these people bring to the store. And think about yourselves as a users too. When you get some suggestion by GPT, there's a really high likelihood you're going to purchase the product. It is at least happening for me, for example. Yeah, and just to put this in the context, this is that same data, so same user-based data, average conversion rate for the website. So ChatGPT traffic has 3 times higher conversion rate than average web visitor, and revenue per session is 4 times higher. So when they're purchasing, the AOV is even higher than the conversion rate itself. This just blew me away. And again, to put this in the context, it's crazy to see that this is actually performing better than branded search or Google Ads. So we do have a lot of customers that are really good with Google search, Google engines, PMax, shopping, branded search. ChatGPT referred traffic has higher intent to purchase than your own brand keywords on Google Ads. This is just like mind-blowing. To me, this was absolutely mind-blowing to see how much you can gain if you rank high with AI engines and if like they're recommending your solution to users that are searching. Tony, makes
For
sense?
me, for me, this was the biggest thing when we were going over this data and just seeing that the revenue per session is higher for traffic that landed on the website from ChatGPT rather than compared to branded search traffic. This is really just huge. So it really does show the intent of people and how much people actually trust AI engines to give them the best possible data and to guide them towards products that they want to buy. So this for me was huge.
And yeah, for me, a huge part was when Carl was showing what Henri AI can do. Yeah, but this is just like for business owners, this is really, really important to understand how impactful this traffic can be for your business in your store. And also something to add, like before we continue, because on a high level, what you have to understand when people are talking to ChatGPT or Gemini, they're researching. So they're really asking, like, give me pros and cons. What would you recommend? And these are things that you should have on your website. When you're talking about your product, we will get to this part, but just on a high level, you have to have information like pros and cons, FAQs, like you want to allow AI to crawl your website and understand why your product is better than competitor, like what are the shipping rates, what are the return policies. These are crucial informations on a high level that ChatGPT will use to recommend your solution instead of someone else. So I was talking to one customer today and he told me really that he's really talking to AI engines, like what are the pros and cons? What would you do in my position? So think about that. The more info you give to AI engines, better you can perform. So yeah, now that you have this data, I think this is a really huge motivation to start working on this a bit more. Let us show you how to work on this a bit more. So there are like two key aspects that you should tackle as a business owners. And why we are saying that is just to take a step back. Why I believe we are the good people to explain this. If you search like best LTV app for Shopify store, we are ranking #1 or #2. If you search for like attribution pixel app for Shopify, we are ranking #1 or #2. So like for many of these like high intent searches, we are ranking #1. Everything that we are giving here as a suggestion, we did test on ourselves. So we're not guessing, we didn't read some random blog posts, we really built this, it is working for us, and we're just sharing it here on this call. So yeah, some of the main suggestions. This is more like related to last two webinars, so I'll skip this part. And maybe later I will get back to this. What is very important, insight on the volume. So volume is a function of two variables, surfaces on your website and the clarity of the information on your websites. So one thing you have to have is like high intent small pages where you inform AI about shipping cutoffs, gift receipts, return window. So you want to give structured, detailed information about this to AI engines. And a bit more was said about this on part 2 and part 1, so previous webinars that you can find on YouTube. Here, the key thing is like consistent naming, structured deal tables and data tables that I didn't mention. So like why your brand, why not someone else? FAQs like pros and cons, and high intent small pages that AI engines can easily crawl and pick up. So quick formula that you should keep in your mind for volume, and I'm referring to this one here. So how do you get more traffic referred to your store? This is the volume part, and this is going to be the intent part. Volume formula for volume is number of index pages that you have about these topics and the clear answers to common questions that people could have. Like if you're asking AI engines, why the bag, why not Polar Analytics? You should have that information available on the website. And again, like try to be very honest and objective here. Try to think about your product and why your product is not someone else, as every product has its own pros and cons. So this is just a huge thing to get increase in volume of ChatGPT searches. And if you want to increase the intent, think about users and what they're searching before getting to your store from ChatGPT or a similar tool. So there is like transactional intent, like buy X on Black Friday, commercial intent, or informational intent. And you want to cover on your product pages and FAQ pages and about us pages these three intent aspects, whether it's transactional, commercial, or informational. So yeah, on a high level, and we will cover this a bit more, on PDPs, you want to have the information about price and availability, and availability part is going to be huge. Black Friday is a reminder, everyone is going out of stock, limited time offer, so there's urgency and scarcity element to these events, and you want to really have that information in a product page. So if ChatGPT crawler comes to your site, they immediately see what is happening here. Tony, is this clear?
I think it's pretty clear so far. I think you're covering more or less everything. These insights on intent also super useful. Thinking about the three different ways that customers are going to be browsing the information on your website. So transactional, commercial, informational. So far, pretty clear. Hope everyone in the webinar is also loving it. So drop your comments in the chat.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I won't be taking too much time as really the Carlos part is also going to be huge. Just a quick summary of like, we want to pull here like 5 1-hour wins. So like every founder, like, or your dev team or marketing team should be able to execute all of this within like 1 hour. So we really want to be very concrete and give you next steps that you should do as a business owner. So once the webinar finishes, what you should do is add Black Friday Cyber Monday info page that will be crawlable by AI engines right away. Huge thing is to put returns and shipping on PDP pages. So you don't want crawlers to like have to skim and crawl 35 of your pages. If they're searching your top product, your best sellers product page, they have to find the returns and shipping policy info on this page. So AI engines will not crawl your whole website. They will crawl the top 3 or 4 pages. If they don't find the right information there, they will go to someone else. Also, the third thing, something that is really a best practice in this, in whole CRO and web development optimization, make sure that everything renders in HTML. So not just that JavaScript. JavaScript can really kill your visibility or SEO score and AI visibility score. Make sure everything renders in HTML. That will feed more information to crawlers and make your brand stand out more with ChatGPT in general. And like back in stock wording, if applicable, of course, that's something you want to include. And last mod is a big thing. So make sure to keep the information on when was the page last time modified, because that's on my next slide. Or sorry, it was somewhere else. Maybe I removed the slide. So last mod basically keeps the information clean and fresh. So AI engines wants to see fresh data on the website on when it was updated. If this information is correct, it is going to work better and you're going to rank higher with AI engines. So yeah, we can also cover maybe a great later Reddit community. This is not very important for this webinar. This was topic of our previous webinar. So we do have a dedicated Reddit community where you can submit your product and just rank higher with AI engines. That is part of our previous webinar, so check it out and we can talk about it later if you have any questions. What really I wanted to introduce now is Carlo, who is our lead AI engineer for everything AI related in our company, and he is the mastermind and brain behind Henri AI, which is our AI that kind of what it does on a high level. It sits on top of your Meta, Google, Klaviyo, Pinterest, Amazon data, but also your Shopify data. And Henri AI not only understands the correlation between things, it understands causalities. So for example, if your units went out of stock and because of that Facebook ads are not working, and you had to drop the Facebook ad spend, and because of that emails are not working, Henri is able to connect these dots. So it understands that out of stock impacted Facebook, which impacted email instead of vice versa. So I think a big thing in this field and what other AI engines are missing, they frequently find the correlations, but not causalities. And this is something that like Carlo was working a lot on. And what we would like to show you is like how you can use this technology to improve your business performance, especially for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And you're going to get a lot of actionable insights on things that you can do for these Black Fridays in 25 to 30 days to improve your business performance. And it's going to cover 3 parts. First is going to be good versus bad prompts. This is something you can use for any LLM, whether it's like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, or Henri AI. So what is a good prompt? What is a bad prompt? Then we're going to cover a very important thing that I was not aware of too, context clutter, and how soon you should like refresh your ChatGPT or Henri interface. And Carlo has some huge best practices that can help you improve your business performance, AI visibility, and also your prompting technique. So yeah, without further ado, Carlo, the stage is yours. If you can share your screen, and we can cover the Henri AI engine.
Thank you, Josip, for the great intro and the great insights. I think this is wrong, actually. Let me just share the right one. Okay. So my name is Carlo. I'm a developer at Lebeg, and I've been working on Henri AI for these past few months. And I also use all of the AI tools available. So I want to share some of the insights that I've learned from using all these tools and actually in creating Henri to help you use AI systems more efficiently and yeah, get the most out of your prompts. So I'm going to start with in the Henri interface, actually. So here's our Henri AI agent, and I'm going to show you some examples of bad prompts for Henri. So Henri is an AI agent that is actually connected to all your store's data. So it has all of that context available for it, but when you prompt it in the right way, it actually pulls that data and analyzes it. And here's a kind of a half joke example of what users are actually asking Henri. So how do I make more money? And of course, it has to be spelled wrong, because when you ask LLMs, you don't have to spell correctly. But yeah, this kind of question is really generic. So Henri here didn't actually analyze any of your store's data, and it just gave kind of a generic ChatGPT answer. And like a normal user would probably think, okay, so this tool isn't so powerful, like it didn't give me any good advice. But you have to use some keywords and steer Henri into making the right decisions for you. So yeah, here you get some generic advice that you would probably get from ChatGPT itself if you ask how to make more money as an e-commerce business. So this is an example of a bad prompt and how you should not be prompting AI engines. And I have another one here, which is more specific. So I want to improve my Facebook creatives. So how do I improve my Facebook creatives? Again, it's really generic. So I didn't tell Henri, hey, analyze my creatives in the last 7 days and show me what worked well, which would actually trigger him to analyze some data. So again, I get some maybe more informed than ChatGPT because he has the context of that you are a fashion store and that it's Q4. So you get kind of a better answer than ChatGPT on its own, but still it didn't pull any of your data. So I'm going to show you an example of how to get the most out of Henri with a good prompt. So if I want to analyze Facebook creatives, I would ask something like, pull last week's Facebook creatives performance, show key metrics in a table, then analyze what's working, what's not, and try to explain why. And here, I want to just explain the structure of this prompt. So there are some few keywords that I used. So you want to pull some Facebook creative performance. So you specify which data you want him to look at. You specify which time frame you want him to look at, and what output you're expecting from the LLM or the AI system. And also to analyze what's working, what's not, only when he pulled the data that he needs to actually make a good data-driven decision. And here we get a nice output from Henri. So we get a nice graph of Facebook creatives, we get some key takeaways, and a nice table that you actually requested. So this is what you wanted to see, and this is what you get. So you have to be really clear with AI systems, like what do you need the AI to do and what you want to see as an output. And yeah, you just get some great insights also. I'm going to show you another example, which is more focused on Black Friday, since everyone is preparing. And this is a more complex example. But for the Facebook creatives, I just wanted to see like a snapshot of my performance. Of course, this is much faster than just looking at the dashboards and you get some nice insights. But for more complex analysis, a system like Henri is really powerful, but you need to know how to use it. So if I ask some generic question like, how do I prepare my store for Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Henri actually proposes a plan, but again, it is quite generic. So this isn't really different from what you would get from ChatGPT itself. Like if you ask, how do I prepare my store? You just get generic advice, and this is just not what you want to see. So I want you to think about prompting AI in a little bit of a different way. And this is where I'm going to touch a bit on how this actually works behind the scenes. So how does the AI process all your data, and how each turn actually fills up the context window of the AI. So this is the example for the Black Friday, a good prompt. So first I wanted to ask Henri, okay, I want to prepare for Black Friday. First, pull all my Facebook performance and winning creatives for Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday last year and analyze which ones worked and explain why. So he has a clear goal here. he analyzes all of your data from last year, and but only for Facebook. So it focuses on a real one part of your business and gives some great insights. So you get all your creatives, why they worked, what was their performance of those creatives, and yeah, some recommendations for this year. But here, in the next question I have for Henri is actually, this prompt isn't as detailed as the one before. And why is that? Henri already has all of this data loaded in its context window above. So he can just look at the example for Facebook and replicate the same thing for Google. So this is why I can, in the same thread, ask, what about Google in the same period? And I get a nice report for Google because he has the example above. And I have a nice picture here. I think this is really useful to understand. I won't get really technical with it. I just want to explain. So every turn you are talking to an AI, all of the data that it has above the last message. So every message, AI researches, like pulls all your data and then gives a response. And then in the next question, when you prompt it again, it also needs to process all of the data before that. So this actually adds up and it clutters the context window. But you can use this as an advantage and as a disadvantage. So in this case, where I'm showing you how to do more complex analysis with Henri, you're using this context window to your advantage. So you are preloading quality context. So you want Henri to understand, how did my Facebook perform last year? So what worked? What are the recommendations for this year? And then to replicate the same thing for Google. So yeah, I want to know what worked last year, what didn't work, and what are the recommendations for this year. And then only then, when Henri has all of this preloaded in its context window, you ask a more broad question, like, based on this data, how should I prepare for this year's Black Friday? Like, propose a structured plan for Facebook and Google, focus on maximizing ROAS and total sales, include recommendations. And this is how you get a nice report from an AI. So you use the context window of the AI and preload some quality context, so you know he knows what you want from it. So he gets me the budget split and pacing, so he now knows my channel split, what was it like last year, what worked, what didn't work, what was the daily pacing, and this is just a nice plan for this year. And he actually analyzed what didn't work last year and tried to recommend how to get better performance this year. So this is just great. This is how you should be thinking of your interactions with AI systems. This works with ChatGPT. If you are researching something, try to first ask it like to research that topic more broadly and then go into the specific questions. And this is how you get better performance from AI systems in general. So, but this can all.
Carlo, if I can jump in just for a second,
sure.
I think this is really great. The main idea is you talk to AI agents like you would talk to humans. So if you ask human like how to make more money, it will give some great suggestion. If you really tell him like analyze last 7 days or last month, why am I not performing as good as before? Henri here has a full context, and then it works really, really well. And that's how you get the maximum out of this technology.
Yeah, I think it's nice to think about talking with AI. Like usually people just give it orders, so they don't treat it like a conversation. So it needs to be like a flow. You need to think about what the AI is actually giving you as an answer. So if AI is giving you something that you think that isn't correct, like you shouldn't make a plan based on some information that you don't think it's correct. So you need to actually tell it, okay, this isn't what you actually want for your business, because every business is different and AI doesn't have all the context that you usually have in your head. So yeah, this is why you need to do it step by step. And also I want to share how does a cluttered context window actually degrade performance. So this is on the other side of the story. So when I ask it a lot of questions here, as you can see, it has you can make a lot of nice graphs, but this data isn't really connected with my final question in this thread. So it already has preloaded all of this data above, and now I ask it, can you analyze my Facebook creatives last month versus the month before? And this just isn't related to any of the data above, and it will get me a worse answer because the AI isn't focused on just your data. So it has all of this above your current question, and if it's not related to your newest question, it can lose focus, hallucinate, or actually just degrade in performance. So yeah, this is what kind of report I would get in a cluttered context window. And if I show you the same report in a clean context window, I get just a much more detailed answer. I get a nice chart, I get key findings, I get some reallocation suggestions, which I think are really useful. And yeah, just a much more focused and clearer report. So I think this is the most important thing to understand when working with AI systems. So you have to be aware of its context window, what it has loaded into its context window, and how it impacts its performance in the long run. And another great tip that I would say is really underrated is when you are actually talking to AI systems, you can just ask it like, what are your capabilities? How should I be prompting you? So AI is really good at writing prompts for itself. So he knows what it can do for you, how powerful it is. He knows what it can do. We are working on this. Hopefully this section will not exist in the future. And yeah, it gives some nice prompt templates and analysis it can do for you. For example, if I want to analyze my Black Friday performance, I can ask, hey, hi, I want to analyze my Black Friday performance. So how can you help me with this analysis? And the AI will just tell you what it needs from you to get the most performance. So it needs the correct dates. It needs which past years you want to analyze. So you know which years were good for you and which ones it should not take into consideration, which promotions you used, and what channels are you prioritizing. So with this information, it can give you a much more clear and focused response. So yeah, actually, kind of a key point here is just to talk with the AI and just kind of use it as a conversation and come to a conclusion together. Don't just prompt it to give you a nice report and all of the answers all at once. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carlo. And sorry, Carlo, just I had some question. Yeah, can you just go back to this cluttered context window?
Yeah, sure.
Screen. So does that also apply to like GPT? So if like I'm talking too much in one thread to ChatGPT, it's going, like there's high probability it's going to hallucinate and just talk stuff.
That is exactly right. So when you are talking for a long time in the same thread, there's a lot of data actually under this. So what you see here is just my prompt and the answer from the AI, but between these two texts, there is a lot of data being pulled from your shop performance. And this is just every time being sent to the AI, and he loses focus and just forgets earlier things or parts of the conversation and just degrades in performance in general. Yeah, this is the biggest problem in AI right now. It's called context engineering. How do I give it the right context? Like before it was prompt engineering, so giving from the best prompt, getting the best answer, but now it's moving towards context engineering. So how do I give all the nice context to AI to actually get the best performance? Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that. So basically, to get most out of Henri AI, for every thread, you would create a separate conversation, right?
A thread is a new conversation, a new chat. So
Correct.
It starts fresh, it has its initial instructions, it doesn't have any data pulled from before, so it doesn't need to analyze it, and it can just focus on the task at hand. Yeah.
Tony, did you know that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I knew it since yesterday when I was going over this with Carlo. But no, that was fresh information for me as well, and it definitely it is going to be changing the way I work with ChatGPT.
yeah, I fully agree with that. Carlo, thanks a lot for sharing that. That was really extremely useful, and all the good and bad prompts. Very exciting to see that and test this in practice. And now that I'm not going to clutter the context window for AI.
Thank you, Carlo. This was great.
Yeah, if there's any questions about Henri or AI in general, feel free to ask anyone.
We do have a couple of questions in the chat. The first one was actually from Omar. What about structured schema? Schema JSON LD, does that impact AI visibility? And that's also something that we kind of talked about. So already mentioned it in the chat. We've talked about within the first 2 webinars as well. So all of these are available on our YouTube channel and they're available on our website. So that's something to go over definitely. And then
Tony,
Javid
sorry,
had
if
a
I can
question.
just jump in. So, Omar, that's a really good question. As Tony did mention, we did cover that in depth on part number 1 and part number 2 of this webinar series. We do have a dedicated agent in the app called AI Visibility Master that will give you the ideal JSON LD schema for any of your product pages. So yeah, you can use that, I think. Yeah, as it's a little bit more technical, we did cover that, and we do have a dedicated agent specifically for JSON LD schema. So yeah, definitely a very important part of the AI visibility. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for covering that, Yosef. We do have a question from Javid. Can Henri be integrated with your eBay, Amazon, and TikTok store at the moment?
Amazon, yes. TikTok, just TikTok ads right now. eBay, we don't have yet as an integration. But Javid, how it all works is we have like Shopify, Amazon, TikTok, Facebook, Google, Pinterest, Klaviyo data, and then Henri AI analyzes all that. I think that's really, really powerful. And yeah, right now it's offered within our standard like $79 per month plan, which is I think by far the lowest plan to test Henri AI. eBay, we don't have integrated yet, but everything else, if you have some eBay data in Google Analytics, sorry, we also do cover the Google Analytics, so it can connect the dots to everything that you have connected to our system. Yeah. Yeah. And then basically on top of that, you just do what Carlo just explained to do. So you ask him good things, he can plot graphs, he can correlate things, find out causalities between different things. Yeah. Good question, thanks.
Since we're going through good questions, I think here's a good one from Jen. So what happens if you don't have data from previous Black Friday, Cyber Monday? What's a good starting point at that point? Is it that you can start with your customer avatar, etc., and then and what you're trying to achieve and get that from Henri? I think that's a really good question. Just starting with your avatar or your ideal customer profile, and then feeding that data into Henri.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Jen. Thanks for asking. So I would say in that case, kind of Henri AI as our agent is built to understand the whole history and what is happening with your store over time. For this specific case, I would rather use our other agents. So we have like Thinking ICP agent. That is also part of one of our earlier webinars. Thinking ICP agent, Breakthrough Ads Architect agent. So if there is not a lot of history for your brand, then you can just ask like our agents what are the best practices and behavioral economics, online marketing, growth hacking to have the most out of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So yeah, it's slightly different methodology. If you want to join, feel free to book a call with us, and Tony and Peter and our team can show you how to use these other dedicated agents to improve one specific part of your business.
But also,
sorry,
but also looking at your competitors and what they did last year. So competitors are inspirations and looking at their strategies during Black Friday last year, analyzing that, which is also something that you can do with Lebeg, and using that as a starting point.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. That's really good suggestion. So yeah, we do track all of the publicly available information of any of your competitors. So we can literally, like Henri can figure out what they were doing a year ago and suggest for you to do something like that based on the estimated performance. So yeah, kind of idea of our tool is that it currently tracks over 25,000 brands, and it can track whoever you want. And based on what is working globally, it tells you how to improve. So Jen, really awesome questions. And thanks for asking that.
And yes, before we move on, we do have a question from Anna. Anna is saying that she briefly tested Henri AI plus a few others, largely to learn how to prompt correctly, or else she was just getting chaotic results outputs. And do we have any comments on Deeper.ai? That's mostly for you, Josip, and Carlo, if you were researching it.
DeepSeek. DeepSeek or DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah.
And that's something we've talked internally. So like, should we be using ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, which of these solutions? kind of where we are right now. We just said, let's try to figure out how to work in the best possible way with one of these AI solutions. Instead of, I feel like you can get more if you just learn how to work better with one tool instead of switching from one tool to other tool every couple of months. Carlo, you probably did test all of this, or?
Yeah, I mean, the overall thing with these different models is actually each model is good at specific things. So we are actually planning in the future, like to use different models for different parts of the analysis. So if we think that GPT is better for interpreting like numerical data, we'll use it for interpreting your numerical data. If we think that Claude is better for writing ads, we would use Claude for that. So I think we should not think like which model is better overall, but to use them like separately and like together, but kind of join them in a mega system that actually gives you the best insights possible. Yeah.
Yes, and Tony, maybe to refer to this other question by Anna is like largely to learn how to prompt correctly, else carry results output. So yeah, that is something that we're also working on, that you don't have to think about, but like think too much. What is the good prompt to have? So we are building now a series of like default prompts that would always explain to you these things, these things that you want to understand for Black Friday, for like average Wednesday or whatever you need to analyze. Though yeah, I think the big part is just understanding how to prompt in the best possible way. And I personally learned a lot, so much from Carlo this week. Yeah, I hope you did too. Yeah, thanks, Anna. Really nice comments, Anna.
Yeah, thanks for all of the questions. But yes, that's it for the questions right now in the chat. But everyone that's participating in the webinar, feel free to ask any questions, or if anything wasn't clear, do ask us questions. But just so you know, you are going to be getting a recording of the webinar and the webinar slides as well sent over after the call. Sana, sorry, I've missed answering your questions, but everything is going to be sent at the end. So both the recording and all the slides that we've gone through today.
Yes, and just to reiterate, if you're not sure about something, didn't know how to interpret, feel free to reach out. We're always happy to clarify things a bit more and help you just perform better as a business.
Okay.
Hey, Gerald has one question that I actually don't know. So that would be more like dev question. There is a way to do it. We can actually bring our like web dev team. Maybe Carlo, you know that, but I'm not sure. Gerald, I don't know. I think it's a good question for like ChatGPT or Henri AI. So how to input the structure schema into Shopify? Yeah, I have to be honest. I know that it's possible. I'm just not sure how, so I wouldn't want to guess now. Yeah, though, like I'm pretty sure our agents can explain that. I just didn't count them for that specific case.
Thanks, Josip.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Gerald.
Okay, so Carlo, thank you. Josip, thank you. Josip, do we have a couple of other slides that you wanted to show everyone?
So I think we're basically, my last slide is like thank you slide. So I think you can imagine thank you slide. Yeah, definitely like I would suggest, as you saw, like I think the key part of the first section was, let me actually just get back to that slide because I think it's really powerful. Something I think everyone should keep in mind. This is crucial thing to understand. This is just the beginning. Like when there was this explosion in like June, July, it was huge, and then it doubled twice since then. So this is becoming massive. The sooner you start tackling that, I think really for the smaller brands, only getting started, this is for your way to start competing with these big brands that are spending like millions of dollars on Facebook ads and Google ads. Start tackling this early. Join the Red community where you can just promote your product and pitch it to AI basically. And also keep in mind that the conversion rate of these users is very high intent and something you have to tackle. This is like right now, I think in the ad space, free money. So Google search 1% conversion rate, $20 cost per click. ChatGPT referred traffic is free with 4% conversion rate. So just something, also revenue per session. And someone did ask in the comment, This is like aggregated data of all of, you know, so we have the first party tracking pixel technology, and it is aggregated data of all of our customers, what they're seeing from ChatGPT traffic versus average traffic to their stores. So yeah, I was really blown away by this. Yeah. Any other questions, Tony? Or I think that's it.
Thank you, everyone. No, that's it for the questions today. Nope. Another one from Javid. Just a quick generic question. When a potential customer uses an AI tool to search for the best brand within my industry, how do I make sure the AI tool recommends my brand? From my understanding, it's having a good Reddit community, good reviews on Trustpilot and Google reviews. Anything else that we would recommend here?
So yeah, something that we built for this specific reason, it was topic of our previous webinar. So it's founder reviews Reddit community. Kind of what is, I think, a big missing element of this field right now is you cannot pitch your brand on Capterra, G2 Crowd. You don't control information that is being passed to AI engines. So we are building here this free to do. You can join like founder reviews community where you can just pitch what your product is about. So here a couple of examples for like country life. So you have to say what is the price of the product, who is it for, pros and cons, you know. So we're trying to build a like honest community where you can, you know, tell what your product does, what is the offer for Black Friday. This is one extra thing that you can do, Javid, for your brand, just to rank higher with AI engines. And yeah, just like staying relevant on like Trustpilot, G2 Crowd, Capterra, Shopify, but wherever you're present is very important. So that's a topic of our first webinar, like consensus of information that AI can find across the internet. Yeah, that's something very, very important. Yeah. But I think this Reddit community is a really nice hack, so feel free to join. It's free. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Josip. Carlo, thank you as well. This was very educational. It's a lot of new information. I think that everyone's going to be going away from this webinar with a lot of new knowledge about AI agents and how to actually prompt them in a good way. So thanks for that. Everyone, since we don't have any new questions, thank you all for joining us today. We do hold webinars regularly, and we are going to be inviting you to our next one whenever it is happening in a month or two. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to reach out to us on lebec.io or at hi@lebec.io. We'd be happy to give you a demo of the product, talk about AI agents, talk about marketing, or just talk about marketing analytics. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day and see you again in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.